Welcome back, baseball fans. We are back for the 2004 season here, and things are about to kick off, and there are some changes to our lineup, that is for sure. And so we'll see if this pays off. We had our lowest win total in a while, but we finally made it to the World Series only to lose to the Orioles. So what we've got going on this season, let's take a look first at the Hall of Fame voting results. Only one gets in again, Paul Molitor with 98.9% on his first turn. Lee Smith just missed out. Winfield, Parker, Dawson, Dwight Gooden all look like they're going to struggle to get in. Molitor, he was a long-time Cardinal for us, winning 3 straight MVPs from 88 to 90. Led the league in hits several times in WAR all 3 of those years. Ends up with 3,700 hits, 257 home runs, 1,500 exactly RBIs, 2,000 runs, 82 WAR. In reality, he was pretty much spot on. Only he scored a lot more runs. In our simulation, he knocked in 200 more as well, and he drove in about the same amount. Got 400 more hits in our run here too. 1984 may be a big reason. No, 1984 he didn't really do anything here either. So he ended up being pretty much the same. Now there are some changes to our lineup. Like I said, let's take a look at them. Leading off, we're going to have Ichiro. We did trade for Ichiro. We gave away Rocco Baldelli and Juan Pierre. Both Ichiro and Pierre are eligible for arbitration after this season, and I just loved Ichiro, so I wanted to put him in there. Vizquel is back for another year. Jim Edmonds is there. We have a new first baseman in Derek Lee. Another trade we made because we didn't have a first baseman, so we actually sent Eric Chavez over to the Red Sox to get Lee. The reason being is now we got Andrew Jones, we've got Aramis Ramirez to play third, and we have a new shortstop in Adrian Beltre, who we did sign him for a 15-year, $225 million contract. It's expensive, but to keep him at $15 million the whole time, the guy was like an ageless one, so he's going to be a rock for us at third eventually, short for now, which is going to be a problem defensively, but we don't have a good shortstop outside of Vizquel, who we might move back to short and then move over Beltre to second potentially. But he's got a lot of potential to get better at short. And he's got the range in the arm and all of that stuff. Pierzynski's going to be our catcher again, although his defense is lacking. He's going to be there to start. Matheny's going to be rotating in quite a bit with him. And our rotation is going to look a lot different. We've got Pedro and Schilling still. Carlos Zambrano is going to be there back in the starting rotation for us. Mark Burley's coming back into the rotation. Chris Carpenter is there as well. We have Rivera at the back end, probably the last year we're going to have him, because we also have LaTroy Hawkins, Joe Nathan, Chad Bradford, Trevor Hoffman still. We've also got Tom Glavine back there and Brandon Webb as well. And so we're hoping that will be enough. Craig Biggio is going to be that back behind. Corey Patterson is in our outfield as well, ready to go. We do have Alex Gonzalez still, and we have Dante Bichette just there to really fill in spots as needed. And he's got actually 2 more years. I don't know that he'll hit that vesting option, but he's going to be just somebody to bring in and hit the ball well like he did last season, I hope. So with that being said, let's kick this thing off, see where the season takes us. Things are starting off well this season. So for us, we are sitting with the best record in baseball by a game over the Mets. 59-29, 11 games up over the Astros, who are being led by a revitalized Kirby Puckett at 44 years old. He's hitting .362 with 18 home runs and 66 RBI. Crushing it. The Mets still going strong with Roland and Steve Finley, Jason Giambi. They've got A.J. Burnett, Kelvin Escobar, John Smiley, Javier Vasquez, Armando Benitez, and Rob Nin, both in that they are loaded. B.J. Upton's coming up to their farm system. But then it looks like they may have some trouble, but they've got lots of run scoring, and they're doing well in the runs against category. So their defense is lacking, but we'll see. Where are they at as far as money goes? They are charging $24 per ticket price. We are charging $23 per ticket price, and we've increased that revenue. We've been going up like $1 per year, and it's been paying off, so we're just keeping it that way at the moment until we see we fall way behind. But the Astros, for example, are at $20, so we're doing okay. All right, so with that being said, they're 13.5 up over the Braves. The Dodgers are 10.5 up over the Rockies, and the Astros barely holding on by a half game over the Cubs. In the AL, it is Baltimore trying to return at 2.5 up over the Blue Jays. Cleveland's 9 up over the Royals. Who is leading them? They got Furcal, Eckstein, Hafner, Reggie Sanders, Tony Batista, Jeff Conine. No one amazing, but their defense is first. The Mariners are a half game up over the A's, and the Blue Jays are 2 up over the A's in the wild card. So tight races in the AL. As far as the leaders go at the midway point, Travis Hafner's hitting 342. Bonds has 33 home runs and 85 RBI, just barely off the Triple Crown with 340 batting average. Carlos Beltran, 27 stolen bases. Bonds has a 1293 OPS and a 5-1 batter WAR. Ordonez, Maglio, and Bobby Abreu both have 18-game hitting streaks, but Maglio's is still going. Wilson Alvarez has a 2.62 ERA and 12 wins. Rich Harden has 113 strikeouts. Justin Spear, 24 saves. Keith Folk has fallen off a little bit. He's moved from Toronto to Seattle, but he's 22 saves. He hasn't fallen off. He just doesn't have as many saves as the other guy. Kevin Millwood with a 3.9 pitcher WAR. This is really... He's been very good as far as WAR goes. I guess he started off very good as well. I forgot how decent Millwood was. The ERA, is in a year where 4 ERA wasn't the worst thing. Albert Pujols in the NL is hitting 385 with 24 home runs and 73 RBIs. Adam Dunn has 28 home runs. Beltre was hot out of the gates, doing even better. His WAR is okay because he's probably committing a lot of errors, is my guess. 11 errors at shortstop, but that's okay. He's making up for it. He's getting better at short, and by the end of the year, sure, he'll be fine. Andrew Jones has 80 RBI. Ryan Friel with 20 stolen bases. Pujols at 1122 OPS. Griffey's back up there, having a great season so far, hitting 330. Albert Pujols with a 5.4 batter WAR. Beltre had a 15-game hitting streak. Woody Williams, the Gold Glove extraordinaire here, is at 1.85 ERA. Is that when he was over? Yeah, he was still with the Cardinals, but man, he was nowhere near that in 2004. It'll be interesting to see if he keeps that up. Then we've got Zambrano's right behind him with 196, and so is Schilling. Bronson Arroyo, Roger Clemens, and John Smiley all have 11 wins. Johan Santana, 161 strikeouts. Kerry Wood is back up there in the charts. Danny Graves has 27 saves, besting Worrell and Rivera, but Rivera's 2.84 ERA is way better than the other two. He is locking things down. It looks like better. And then Mike Messina and Roger Clemens, two ageless ones there, are both at a 4.5 WAR. This is the first season Messina spends with the Cubs in 2004, which wasn't his best, but he's doing great so far. So I hope he slows down to help us pull away from the Cubs even more. As far as the rest of our team goes, Schilling is again Zambrano. Pedro's at 4.23 ERA. This is probably going to be his last year with us. I think he's going to opt out. I kind of hope he does because we got Zach Greinke that's ready to come up. Now, if we have him again, he still has a few more good years, but he's got some rough years in there as well. But Greinke's ready to come. Schilling at 37. He's got one more year. He may or may not opt out. Not sure what he's going to do. But again, he's near the end of his career. So if he opts out, it's not the worst thing because we got Brandon Webb back there. And speaking of our minor leagues, here we go. See, Greinke is back here. We got Happ back there, which may not be the worst thing. And batters, apparently Greinke's our best hitter as well because everything else is kind of Dave Nielsen did fall off a cliff. He's doing fine in the minors, but he's not what I thought he was going to maintain. Now let's look at this. Alfonso Soriano beat out Travis Hafner 12-11 in the home run derby. And finally, the all-star team is made up of Andy Pettit, Grant Balfour at reliever. We've got Jason Varitek at catcher, hitting 327, but Travis Hafner at first, beating out David Ortiz, Big Papi, getting his first all-star appearance at 28. He's got 2 more years there in Kansas City before he signs a big contract. Frank Thomas is back in there. Good for him. What's he sitting at? 489 home runs. He'll make the Hall of Fame. We've got Ray Durham, second base, finally getting up there. It's been a while. 2, 3, 4, 5 years. So he's got 3 All-Star appearances. Good to see that he's getting his chance to play and play well. We had him for a while just sitting on the bench. Julio Lugo also at second. Corey Koski at third. A-Rod at short. 21 home runs, 323. He's playing for Detroit now. Moved within the division from the White Sox. Bonds in left. Beltran in center. And Lance Berkman in right. In the NL, we've got Pedro getting the start based off of last year, obviously. Kurt Schilling is there. Zambrano is there. Mariano Rivera gets the start. Pudge Rodriguez gets it at catcher, hitting .332, continuing his Hall of Fame career. Pujols, no surprise there at first. Richie Sexton getting a call. Jose Vidro at second. Scott Rowland at third. Adrian Beltre at short. Jim Edmonds in left, having another good season, but the batting average is way down. That's a little concerning. Griffey in center. Jones also gets there. J.D. Drew, though, gets to start in right. So that's where we're at. We're going to hope. I would foresee us making the playoffs and winning the division. The question is, will we finally get that next one? We're chasing the Yankees, who are sitting at 27 World Series in real life. Not in this one. They don't have any, I don't think. Or maybe they have one. And we are there with 23. So we need to figure out in 22 seasons, how do we get to 4 to tie them, 5 to win? And I don't know that that's going to be the case, because we're getting close. And these playoffs, and as they continue to expand, they get tougher and tougher. Look at this. Our defense is doing really well, even with Beltre out of position. That's the most solid team we've had in a very long time. So I'm sure we'll get disappointed in the first round of the playoffs. But only one way to find out. So let's jump ahead to see how the season goes. Well, the season ended up with us reaching the 100 win mark once again, 8.5 games up over the Cubs, led by Albert Pujols, who had a heck of a season, we'll see. The Mets had 105 wins yet again, 18 games up over the Braves. The Dodgers eked out over the Rockies, who eked it out over the Cubs by a game for the wild card. In the AL, it was the Blue Jays with 103 wins beating out the defending champion Orioles by 4 games, who got the wild card easily over Cleveland. Kansas City a game up over Cleveland, and the A's 15 up over the Mariners. Now, when we take a look at the playoffs, we'll see. In the first round, it was close. We started off winning the first 2. I thought things were going well. Then we lost the next 2. But Pedro just lights out in game 5. 8 strikeouts, no earned runs, 4 hits through 7 1/3. He did his thing just like we were hoping for, and he got the MVP because he dominated the first game as well. 15 strikeouts in 14 1/3 innings, .63 ERA. In the LCS, we went up against the Rockies, who took down the Mets. And after losing the first game, we won the next 4 thanks to Jim Edmonds, who had 5 home runs in that series, crushing it after having a lackluster hit. Well, no, not really, but his on-base percentage and average were lower this year, which brought us to the World Series to face the A's. And in 7 games, won the first, or lost the first, won the next 2, lost the next one, won game 5. 2 chances to win it, and we lost 3-2 and 6-4. Mariano Rivera, the hammer of God, got defeated. 4 earned runs at the end in the 8th inning. He just needed to get 4 outs for us. It wasn't meant to be. Pedro did his thing as best he could, and we missed out. The A's beat us. So that means they won their 7th championship, the first one since 1953. It took them 50 years to win another one, but they got it. 7 out of 15 is better than, we're 23 out of 51, as many playoff trips as we got. We should have won more than that, it feels like. But it was a good season overall. And let's take a look at the leaders. Barry Bonds had a .337 average in the AL, plus 56 home runs. So he is currently at .792 with no signs of slowing down. He retired after the 2007 season. He's going to get 900 home runs. Burnitz, though, had 135 RBI to deny him the Triple Crown. Carlos Beltran, 51 stolen bases to go with his 300 average and 24 home runs. Bonds, a 1292 OPS. Travis Hafner, 38 homers, 105 RBI. Getting second there. Barry Bonds with a 9.4 batter WAR. Michael Young, 21-game hitting streak. Wilson Alvarez with a 2.74 ERA and 21 wins. Mark Pryor with 213 strikeouts. In the NL, it was a Triple Crown year for Albert Pujols, who hit 348, 49 home runs, and 134 runs batted in. Ryan Friel had 38 stolen bases. Pujols with a 1.086 OPS, just give the man his MVP, and an 8.9 WAR. Sean Burroughs, 22-game hitting streak. Zambrano and Schilling, 2.45 and 2.47, but Schilling has opted out of his contract as we expected. Pedro, surprisingly, did not. Clemens, 21 wins. Johan Santana, 284 strikeouts. Tim Morrell with 47 saves. And Clemens with an 8.7 pitcher WAR. So let's take a look at the... Biggio did retire. The first-year player draft we'll come back to in a minute. Let's check out the award winners first. I'm sure, we see Pujols did win the MVP, it looks like. So let's go to the Gold Gloves. It was David Wells for the A's at 41 years old. Pitched in 11... it went from the Giants to the A's. Alberto Castillo at catcher. John Olerud getting another one at first. Rafael Furcal at second. Eric Chavez having a good season, but I think we came out okay there, even though he was a Gold Glover. Nefi Perez at shortstop. Kenny Lofton, Jose Macias, and Trot Nixon in the outfield. In the NL, it was Kenny Rogers at 40 years old for the Braves. Mandy Romero at catcher. Todd Helton at first. Orlando Hudson at second. Scott Rowland at third, yet again. John Valentin at short. And in the outfield, it was Danny Batista, Ryan Friel, and Mark Kotze. In the AL, Eric Gagne with 25 first-place votes hold off Jeff Gray for the reliever of the year. This is Gagne's spell of dominance there. And it was Rob Nin for the Mets, beating out Billy Wagner and Joe Nathan, interestingly enough. 8-2 with 2 saves, 101 strikeouts, a 1.69 ERA. He is ready to go. We already signed him to avoid arbitration, just for 1 year, though. The Silver Sluggers in the AL go to Javi Lopez, who had 30 home runs with his .318 average at catcher. Travis Hafner at first. Furcal at second. Chipper Jones for the Yankees over at third. So Chipper went from the Mets to the Rockies for a little bit, back to New York. Out of all the people, not Chipper Jones. Carlos Guillen at short. Barry Bonds, Carlos Beltran, and Trot Nixon in the outfield with Jeremy Burnitz as the DH. In the NL, it was Randy Johnson getting one with his Silver Slugger. What did he do? He had 3 home runs. How many did he have in his whole life? He had 1 in his career. He had 3 this season alone. Unbelievable. His pitching, he was great pitching-wise as well. We could have probably used him in the World Series. Ivan Rodriguez at catcher, Albert Pujols at first, Jose Vidro at second, Scott Rowland at third again. So Pudge, he's picking up quite a few. He already has his Hall of Fame metrics starting to show up. Surprisingly, not where I thought. He's only got 2 Gold Gloves. Derek Jeter at short, and then the outfield was Edmonds, Griffey, and Kirby Puckett, who hit .341 at the age of 44 with 34 home runs, 6.1 WAR. 100 RBI. I knew he was going to be great. We should have signed him back there because look at this. 20 home runs a year. He's hitting 290 to 310. We should have signed him when we had a chance. And he's so cheap as well. We could have got him so cheap. Is he going to go in the Hall? It's going to be tight. He's got to have another really good year and get some awards in the process. Rookie of the Year goes to Chad Tracy for the Twins. The first baseman had 18 home runs and a .284 average. Khalil Green, Akinori Atsuka, and Dave Bush all picking up first place votes. Garrett Atkins unanimously in the NL, rocking and rolling at third base for the Cubs. The Cy Young in the AL went unanimously to Wilson Alvarez, 2.74 ERA, 21-5 record. And in the NL, it was Roger Clemens with Curt Schilling getting 1 first place vote, but Clemens in Colorado, no less. 2.85 ERA. That's quite impressive. Zambrano was up there. And that's it for our guys. MVP went unanimously to Bonds. No surprise. He was almost a Triple Crown winner. And in the NL, not unanimously, Pujols, but Helton was also picking up 5 first-place votes. One of them, I'm sure, was the Rocky sports writer. When we take a look at the first-year player draft, the big names in this one are Andrew McCutchen, Jacoby Ellsbury, Ryan Braun, Troy Tulowitzki, Michael Brantley, Ryan Zimmerman, Justin Verlander, Craig Stammen, Jay Bruce, and Dexter Fowler are the names out there. When we take a look at the mock draft, we are way back here in 29th. David Hernandez is expected to go to us. Yeah. Not looking too hopeful that we're going to get anybody of note. Yeah, we'll see who's out there and see who is there to for the taking by the time they come to us. My guess is not very many. So let's start the draft and see who goes. Starting with Texas, first pick is Jacoby Ellsbury, followed by Ryan Braun to the White Sox. Verlander goes to the Nationals. Now, there aren't a lot of other Clay Buchholz's out there, but they got some hitters, very few. The Yankees take Andrew McCutchen, Troy Tulowitzki to the Padres. Pittsburgh, Carlos Santana, Dexter Fowler to the Giants. Sergio Romo to the Diamondbacks. Philadelphia takes Michael Brantley. Ryan Zimmerman to the Angels. Craig Stammen to the Marlins. David Hernandez to Tampa Bay. Xavier Cedeno to the Red Sox. Kendrys Morales goes to the Twins. Clay Buchholz to the Brewers. The Tigers take Johnny Cueto. Lorenzo Cain to the Astros. Jared Weaver to the Mariners. Matt Garza to the Reds. There are some solid pitchers there. Kenley Jansen did not slip down to us at the Braves there. Colby Rasmus, outfielder, goes to Cleveland. Burke Badenhop to the Royals. Ernesto Frieri to the Cubs. Yunel Escobar to the Rockies. Bobby Parnell to the Tigers. Gio Gonzalez goes to the Dodgers. Elvis Andrus to the A's. Gabby Sanchez to the Orioles. They say we should take Jed Lowry. Not horrible pick at an important position. Shortstop, no less. Stephen Drew, another solid pick. That's shortstop. Jay Bruce. Just some solid players, it looks like. Anybody out there we're missing? Austin Jackson. Must just be that I thought he was better on my fantasy team those first couple years than what he panned out to be. Chris Carter got some home runs to him, but he can't do much else. Let's take a look at the pitchers. Joe Thatcher. No. Movement. Not really. No, I'm not seeing anybody there we're taking. So I think we're actually going to go with Stephen Drew. Yeah, we're going to take him. Finishing out the first round, we've got Toronto taking Jed Lowry there. The Mets took Jay Bruce to wrap up the first round. So let's get through the rest of this draft and see what free agency holds, because we are losing Tom Glavine and Dave Nielsen and Kurt Schilling to free agency. But we were able to sign Ichiro to an extension. We still have Derek Lee. We've got Bichette still there as a backup. Andrew Jones has a few more years. Pedro opted in, so we've got him, and he's going to be solid for us. We got to figure out how to get Burley and some of these other guys to longer-term contracts if we can. Chris Carpenter, we lucked out to get him for as long as we did. Same with Chad Bradford, who's been a very consistent reliever until this last season. We'll see what he has down the road. I'm hoping he bounces back to do quite well here. All right, so let's jump ahead to the beginning of 2005. We are ready for opening day 2005, and we're going to start up against the Astros, who, in real life, I should have been doing this. This is who beat the Cardinals in the NLCS in real life in 6 games, and they ended up losing, getting swept by the White Sox in 2005. 2005 also saw A-Rod pick up the MVP for the Yankees, and Pujols picking it up in the Cardinals. Then you had Bartolo Colon, who hasn't shown up in any of the leaderboards, winning it for the Angels, the Cy Young, and Chris Carpenter winning for the Cardinals for Cy Young in the NL. The rookies of the year this year were Houston Street for the A's and Ryan Howard for the Phillies. So we're going to see if any of those names show back up again. We're hoping Chris Carpenter does, because he's our third pitcher. We've got Pedro, Zambrano, Carpenter, Burley, and Webb, with Rivera, Hoffman, Nathan, Hawkins, Julio Mateo. Rivera, we did sign to an extension, I forgot to mention, for his career, basically $10 million a year, but I think it's going to be worth it. Hoffman's already up to 37. His contract's going to, he's locked down for several more seasons as well. So we've got a good back in to our bullpen. Ichiro's going to lead us off. Beltre's moving up there, playing third. Derek Lee at first. Jim Edmonds, Andrew Jones. Aramis Ramirez is moving over to second. Vizquel's going back to short, and AJ Pierzynski at catcher. The Hall of Fame, Larry Christensen, the guy who just never went away and was just solid and consistent. 270 wins, 3.48 ERA, 3,100 strikeouts. Far better than his real career where he ended in 1983. But for us, he pitched for another 16 years, and he was able to make the Hall of Fame with 3 All-Star appearances and 3 World Series. Lee Smith finally gets in on his third year after picking up 487 saves, which is 9 more than he got in reality. Dave Parker gets dropped, unfortunately. Winfield's finding trouble. Alan Trammell is finally in trouble as well. Dwight Gooden. I mean, these are all guys. Ozzie Smith is up there after 6 years, still not getting in. It's going to be tough for any of those guys to get in. Joe Carter missed out. John Kruk. Lots of tough crowd, these baseball writers, for this playthrough. So we're going to see what 2005 has in store and where we end up in it. At the All-Star break, we started off sluggish. We were, after 20 games, we were in last, but we picked it up. We are at 56-32, 5 games up over the Pujols-led Cubs. The Mets, once again, 5.5 up over the Braves. The Rockies, a game up over the Padres, and the Cubs, 2.5 up over the Padres. The Blue Jays are 8 up over the Bonds-led Orioles, who Bonds is, well, maybe he's not with them anymore. We'll find out. Actually, let's find out where he is now. Where is Barry Bonds? No, he's with the Orioles. He's just not in their starting lineup for some reason. Maybe that's why they're 8 games back. The Royals and Tigers are tied. The Mariners are a game up over the A's, and the Royals and Tigers are tied for the wild card spot. The league leaders right now are Michael Young hitting 354, Hafner 24 home runs, Jermaine Dye with 79 RBI, Tony Womack 29 stolen bases, Lance Berkman 106.4 OPS. Guerrero has 4.3 batter WAR. Michael Young, 21-game hitting streak. Crawford's right behind him actively. Ben McDonald has the 2.62 ERA. Clemens and Sheets both with 11 wins. Ben Sheets 138 strikeouts. Scott Shields for Detroit, 23 saves. Roy Halladay, a 4-pitcher WAR. He's not even shown up yet. Where has he been? He's about to emerge as a star. What's his contract looking like? Ooh, free agent potentially. He's arbitration eligible, but he's going to be soon. In the NL, it's Jamie Carroll with a 357 average. Tony Clark and Derek Lee both with 23 home runs. Tony Clark also 72 RBI. Jose Reyes with 26 stolen bases. Lee with a 1.001 OPS. That's why we traded for him. Chase Utley, 4.6 WAR. Jason Bay, 23-game hitting streak. Johan Santana, 2.18 ERA. Carpenter is up there. 12 wins for John Patterson. Santana with 152 strikeouts. Jose Mesa, 26 saves, getting a resurgence. And Johan Santana with a 5.1 pitcher WAR. There's Houston Street, the rookie of the year, potentially going to have a run at it in this sim as well. The home run derby was won by Reggie Sanders over Travis Hafner. And the all-star teams were Roger Clemens getting the start for Seattle, partnered with Roy Halladay. Wow. Juan Racon for reliever. Javi Lopez at catcher again. He's had quite a run here. Lance Berkman at first. Placido Polanco at second. Third base goes to A-Rod on an MVP caliber year. Not quite. Michael Young at short. Brian Giles in left. Kenny Lofton again in center. It's been a while since, 2004 and 2005. It was 95 before that, so 10-year absent. Vlad is there in right. Larry Walker also coming back for the first time in a while. When was his last All-Star appearance? 2002. What a year he's had, career he's had. Yeah, Chris Carpenter makes it, but Randy Johnson gets the start after last year. He's struggling this season. Joe Nathan in relief, but it's Billy Wagner getting the start. AJ Pierzynski's on there, but hitting 317, but Ivan Rodriguez gets the start. Todd Helton, even though Carnerco and Lee are having better years. Crazy all-star here. Aramis Ramirez gets it at second, hitting 13 home runs, 326. He does have a WAR of 1.6. It's probably his defense. Scott Rowland at third. No Adrian Beltre. Derek Jeter at short. Moises Alou in left. Ken Griffey Jr. in center, and Gary Sheffield in right. Our team is once again very balanced, looking very good, except the errors, probably mainly attributed to Ramirez. And Adrian Beltre is doing great. Derek Lee's doing great. Edmonds, not bad. Jones has picked up a little. He's struggled. Ichiro should be scoring lots of runs. He's on pace for 110. That sounds about right. Only 17 stolen bases. We need to change that strategy. He needs to be stealing more often. He's got the legs. He needs to be doing that because in reality, he was stealing quite a few. He should be getting up there in the 40 range. So we'll see if that changes anything. Oh, Bonds is on the trading block. 18 million. What will they do it? Oh, he's got a no trade clause. He doesn't want to come back to St. Louis to win a championship. Doesn't make any sense, but they're willing to trade him. They should be using him instead. But okay, we'll see how the rest of this year plays out. Will we hold off the Cubs? Will Pujols be marching a charge back? I think he's got it in him, so we got to be careful there. John Patterson, just out of nowhere. Who is this guy? Exactly. Who is this guy? What is he doing here? He's having a phenomenal season so far. Will he keep it up is the question. So lots of questions to be answered. Can we finally break through and get another World Series? We started the decade off right, but it's been a tough 4 years, the last few. So let's find out. And 2005 wrapped up really well for us with 102 wins to have the best record in the league. 2 games behind the Blue Jays for the best in MLB. The Mets, again, 100-game winners, 17 over the Marlins. We were 14 over the Brewers. Padres and Rockies both had outstanding seasons as well, with the Padres eking out the Rockies, who bested the Brewers by 6.5. In the AL, the Blue Jays dominated the East. The Royals and Tigers squeaked by, beating each other down to the wire, but the Tigers well ahead of the Red Sox. And the Mariners 7-up over the A's. When it came to the playoffs, as has been the way it's been working, we got beat. Won the first, lost the second, won the third, thought things were going well, and then we lose the next 2. It was heartbreaking. And then in the LCS, the Rockies knocked off the 100-win Mets and go up against the 104-win Blue Jays, where they got beat. And the Blue Jays were able to win. Placido Polanco gets the series MVP by hitting 400 in the series. And that means the Blue Jays, with the best record in baseball, also picked up their second championship, first one since 1992. Rockies, 4 trips to the playoffs, still have not been able to capture that elusive World Series, but they are right there competing. So things are not going as we would hope when it gets to the playoffs. We start off in 2000 strong. We're getting there, we're just not able to win. And there's going to be some changes on next year's team as well. So in the AL, we look at our league leaders and who took home the batting crowns and such. Michael Young hit 344. Travis Hafner, 41 home runs. David Ortiz, 139 RBI. Tony Womack, 48 stolen bases. Lance Berkman, a 1016 OPS. Bonds just never got the... Oh, they finally started him there. Who knows what he could have done if he would have played the whole season. What do we have here then? Vladimir Guerrero with an 8-batter WAR. Carl Crawford had a 26-game hitting streak. Kurt Schilling, 2.93 ERA. So he still had a fantastic season, but we had to move on. We didn't have the money. Trey Moore with 20 wins. Ben Sheets, 233 strikeouts. Ryan Dempster, 37 saves. And Sheets with a 7.4 pitcher WAR. In the NL, Derek Lee, for us, 328 average. Aramis Ramirez was up there as well at 322. Tony Clark had 45 home runs. Lee was close behind. Tony Clark also had 129 RBI with Pujols and Ramirez trailing him. Jose Reyes had 46 stolen bases. Lee with a 991 OPS. Unfortunately, his contract's up, and we're not going to be able to re-sign him. Chase Utley had an 8-2-batter WAR. Nomar, 24-game hitting streak. Santana with a 1.98 ERA, besting Carpenter. Josh Beckett had 21 wins. Johan Santana with 262 strikeouts. Jose Mesa, 46 saves for the Mets, and Santana with a 9.2 pitcher WAR. Let's check out the award winners for the 2005 season, and we will find Gold Gloves in the AL are going to David Wells, picking up another one, his second one. at the ripe age of 42. Alberto Castillo at catcher. Mike Sweeney at first. Tony Womack at second. Eric Chavez at third. Rafael Furcal at short. Bernie Williams, Termel Sledge, and Vladimir Guerrero in the outfield. In the NL, Zane Smith at 44 years old. Okay. Good to see you, Zane. Ivan Rodriguez picking up another one at catcher. Todd Helton at first. Orlando Hudson at second. Roland again at third. Juan Castro at short. In the outfield was Reed Johnson, Jason Michaels, and Jacques Jones. The AL reliever of the year went to Juan Rincon of the Royals. Only 12 saves. 85 innings pitched, though, 90 strikeouts and a 1.58 ERA as the setup man, I guess. In the NL, it was Rob Nin beating out Houston Street. Rob Nin, 28 saves, and Francisco Rodriguez also got a first-place vote as well. Silver Sluggers go to Javi Lopez at catcher, Lance Berkman at first, Ricky Weeks Jr. at second, A-Rod at third, Michael Young at short, Randy Wynn in left, Termel Sledge in center, Vlad gets it in right, and Larry Walker again at DH. It's been a while. Larry, man, look at all those that he's got. He's an easy Hall of Famer. Well, not easy, but he should be there just fine. So in reality, that was his last year. Is he somebody who is going to be a free agent? Nope, he has signed on an extension. Smart for the Twins. In the NL, it was Carlos Zambrano for us, hitting 3 home runs. At pitcher, Michael Barrett at catcher. Derek Lee at first. Chase Utley at second. Troy Gloss at third. Derek Jeter at short. Alu, Bradley, and Albert Pujols in the outfield. AL Rookie of the Year went to Ricky Weeks Jr., beating out Hank Blaylock, but it was a unanimous one. At second base, hitting 27 home runs, 91 RBI. Yeah, that's about right. It was Aaron Hill in the NL, beating out Johnny Gomez and Felix Hernandez. So Houston Street, the real Rookie of the Year, didn't really do much as far as making waves here goes. In the Cy Young in the AL goes to Ben Sheets with 27 first-place votes. Juan Rincon, his teammate, got 3. That reliever had a magical shutdown year, apparently. But Ben Sheets picking up his first Cy Young. In the NL, it was Johan Santana unanimously picking up his first Cy Young. Led the league in ERA, innings pitched, strikeouts, whip, Ks per 9, and WAR. Chris Carpenter, who got it in real life, finished third. MVP honors go to Vladimir Guerrero of the Red Sox. Vlad picking up his first MVP as well. Lance Berkman picked up 6 first-place votes for the Tigers. And it was Derek Lee getting it in the NL, carrying us to a great season, but we couldn't get over the hump. But Lee, I tell you what, he is having a heck of a run here these last few years. It was a good trade for us. Didn't win us an MVP, World Series, though, those last 2 years. So we missed out on that, while Eric Chavez, who is still under contract for a few more years, is doing really well also. So maybe it wasn't the trade we could have used. I don't know. But given that we have Ramirez and Beltre, I thought that was the way to go. But now we need a first baseman. And so let's turn to the draft and see who's about to show up in the league. Dexter Fowler apparently did not sign with the Giants after going 7th overall, so he's back in there. Hector Rendon, Dylan Betances, Clayton Kershaw, Daniel Murphy, Chris Davis, Tommy Pham, Alan Craig, Willen Rosario, and Marwin Gonzalez. So we are expected to take Tony Barnett. Awesome. Kershaw going to the Astros at 4th would be just a steal for them. Well, let's see what the draft has in store. Tim Lincecum's also in this one. That would be solid. But again, we are so far down, nobody's going to fall to us. And the drafts just get thinner and thinner as we go. How we got Greinke that one time, I have no idea. But let's see. San Francisco is going to take Clayton Kershaw, as they should go. So he's going across from L.A. to San Francisco. That's interesting. The White Sox are going to take Lincecum. Dylan Betances goes to Tampa Bay. Chris Davis to the Astros. Andrew Bailey to the Diamondbacks. The Yankees get Zach Britton. Phillies get Tommy Pham. Daniel Murphy to the Giants. the Nationals take Dexter Fowler. He fell 3 picks. He should have signed that contract. Hector Rondon to the Angels. Texas gets Justin Turner. Chris Archer to the Reds. Justin Upton to the Devil Rays. Luis Avilan to the Dodgers. Andrew Miller to the Pirates. Not bad. David Hernandez to the Twins. Alan Craig to the Braves. Jaime Garcia to the Cleveland. Willen Rosario to the A's. Neftali Feliz to the Orioles. Florida Marlins take Tommy Hanson. Adam Ottavino to the Red Sox. Alex Gordon to the Cubs. Wilson Ramos to the Brewers. Seattle gets Jeff Samardzija. Detroit, Jose Alvarez. Ian Kennedy to the Royals. Evan Longoria to the Rockies. So solid players here, just not the big. David Freese is still out there. Marwin Gonzalez goes to the Padres. Chris Johnson to the Mets. Tony Barnett is who. So the problem with David Freese, even though he's a Cardinal hero, we also don't need a third baseman. First base we're going to need. Jose Martinez is out there. I remember he had a splash, but then nothing. John Jay. Again, no one's really standing out, are they? What about this guy? What's he do? Nothing. Do we have anybody out here? Takahashi Saito. He starts so old. We don't need a reliever right now. Yeah, there's nobody here. So we're going to draft him. Maybe, hopefully not sign him and get a compensation pick. So then we've got to wrap up the first round. The Blue Jays are going to take Juan Nicasio. So that's where we're at to wrap up the 2005 season. Some potential free agents are Ben Sheets, Clemens again, Lee, David Ortiz is out there. If we could get him at first base instead of Derek Lee, I would much rather have that. So that's why we're letting Lee go. We do have some money to play with, $31 million. We could make a run at Ortiz because we are going to need it. But Andrew Jones is also going to be leaving us. He's kind of reached his peak and he fell off really quick. Ivan Rodriguez is out there. Chuck Finley again. Kenny Lofton. So the team we're going to have Corey Patterson going to have to step in there for Jones. We've got Edmonds and Ichiro. Vizquel is getting up there. Alex Gonzalez is going to be going. We got Ramirez and Beltre. I mean, we're getting thin, and we don't have the minor leagues to bring up anybody really. But our pitching is amazing, so maybe we can trade somebody away and potentially bring in a hitter that way because we've got a great bullpen. The bench coach wants to put Hoffman at closer and Rivera at middle relief. I don't think we're going to do that. Greinke is also getting close to where he's going to be starting. 2005, not his best. 2006, not his best. But then in 2007, that's when he becomes a primetime starter for us. So if we could sign him for a long time, I'd love to. Do you want to sign for $800,000 for 12 years? No? Okay. Worth a shot. All right. So that's where we're at. And I want to thank you for joining me. Take care until the next episode and then tune back in there and we'll see you on that one.